Okay, let's dive into something pretty wild from the history of medicine. The 17th century, where some doctors basically decided, hey, let's treat the human body like a machine.
Exactly. We're talking about Iatrophysics, or sometimes called Iatromechanics, even Iatromathematics.
Right. And the core idea was radical, wasn't it?
Absolutely. It was about taking medicine, which felt very subjective, and trying to give it the certainty of math or physics, rigorous quantification.
So measuring everything, levers, fluids, forces.
That's it. Elevate medicine to the same level as, say, astronomy during the scientific revolution. That push for quantification is really the heart of it.
Now, you said 17th century, but the idea of applying mechanics to biology wasn't entirely new, was it?
No, not completely. You can actually look way back to Hero of Alexandria around 70 AD. He made the syringe.
A syringe. So like basic hydraulics and pneumatics applied medically.
Pretty much. So the mechanical knowledge existed, but it didn't become a full-blown philosophy for, well, over 1,000 years.
Why the long wait? What was the roadblock?
Galen. The Galenic paradigm just dominated medicine, and it was fundamentally qualitative.
Ah, so humors, temperaments, mixtures, that whole system.
Exactly. It resisted mathematical reductionism. It was all about subjective assessment, not objective numbers. That held things back for centuries.
So what changed in the 1600s? What finally allowed this mechanical view to take hold?
It seems to have been a confluence, really. Three big things lining up.
Okay, like what?
First, physiology had a revolution. William Harvey describing systemic blood circulation.
Right. The heart is a pump.
Precisely. Suddenly, the body, or at least the vascular system, looked like a perfect hydraulic machine. It shifted focus from vague, vital qualities to something quantifiable, like fluid dynamics.
Okay, that makes sense as an analogy, but reducing a living person to just a machine,
Yeah.
that must have needed some philosophical backup, right?
It definitely did, and they got it from René Descartes. His mind-body dualism was key.
Separating the physical body, the res extensa, from the non-physical mind or soul.
Yes. And if the body is just physical stuff, well, then it's fair game to analyze it purely mechanically, like an automaton.
So you've got the analogy from Harvey, the philosophical license from Descartes. What was the third piece, the practical bit?
Measurement, actually being able to quantify things. And that brings us to Santorio. He was the pioneer here.
Santorio, what did he do?
He moved medicine away from just asking, how do you feel? He invented instruments like the pulsologia, basically a pendulum device to time the pulse rate objectively.
Taking the guesswork out of it.
Exactly. And most famously, he spent decades in his sella sanctori, his weighing chair.
The weighing chair, what for?
He meticulously weighed himself, his food, his waste, to measure what he called insensible perspiration. Continuous weight loss you can't see. He was obsessed with turning life into, well, data.
Wow. Okay, so the stage is set. Analogy, philosophy, measurement tools. Did this culminate in one major work?
It really did. Giovanni Borelli's De Motu Animalium, published right around 1680, that was the absolute peak of Iatrophysics.
Was it Borelli doing it?
He applied mechanics, levers, statics, dynamics rigorously to muscles and bones, calculating forces, joint movements. It's basically the foundation text for modern biomechanics.
Amazing. So, if it was so groundbreaking, mathematically solid, why didn't pure iatrophysics stick around as a dominant school? What went wrong?
Well, the body isn't just levers and pulleys, is it? Life's more complex, more dynamic than simple mechanics. The purely reductionist model started showing cracks.
And couldn't explain everything.
Right. Especially things involving chemical change. This fueled a big rivalry with another school, Iatrochemistry. People like Sylvius.
Ah, the chemists. What was their focus?
Fermentation, acids, alkalis, chemical processes. They clashed with the iatrophysicists over things like digestion. Was it mechanical grinding, like Borelli would argue? Or was it a chemical transformation?
So the mechanical model had limits.
Big limits, and those shortcomings, that inability to explain inherent life processes, eventually fed into the vitalist backlash in the 18th century.
Stallism, right. The idea that you needed some non-physical vital force or sensitive soul to explain healing, self-regulation.
Yeah.
Stuff mechanics couldn't touch.
Exactly. That really marked the decline of iatrophysics as its own distinct, rigid philosophy.
But it didn't just vanish, did it?
No, not at all. And this is the crucial point. While the sect dissolved, its most powerful tool, that insistence on quantification, on objective measurement, applying physical laws that got absorbed into mainstream medicine. Thinkers like Hermann Boerhaave helped synthesize these approaches.
So the legacy isn't the body is a machine, but that the body must obey mechanical and physical laws, and we should measure that.
You've got it. It laid the groundwork for modern biomechanics, obviously, but also things like electrophysiology and really the whole field of medical physics. It established the mechanical imperative.
It's fascinating how that core tension you mentioned, the 17th century fight between iatrophysics focusing on mechanics and force and iatrochemistry focusing on transformation and reaction.
Yeah.
Well, doesn't it feel like we still debate that fundamental perspective today? Is life ultimately better understood through an engineering lens or a chemical lens?
That's a perfect way to put it. When you look at the sheer adaptive complexity of life, which framework, engineering, or chemistry really gets you closer to the truth? That's the enduring question Iatrophysicists kind of left us grappling with.